I'm Yami Jaramillo, aka Miss Yami Mommy, co-founder and CMO of Color Co, media personality, writer, artist, you name it. I probably done did it. You know, we out here. Well, I'm originally from Panama City, Panama. I ended up in Georgia in the fourth grade as a military brat. My father was a drill sergeant in Fort Gordon in Augusta, Georgia. But I ended up in Atlanta because after my sister graduated high school, we moved to Douglasville. And me and my best friend were actually only communicating via letters at the time because we kept getting on punishment. But I knew she moved to Atlanta. And one day when MapQuest came out, she basically hit me up and she was like, yo, let's just look up how far you are from me. And she was actually down the street on Campbellton Road. And we realized that Thornton Road turned into Campbellton Road. So Douglasville connected to the west side. So we was lit from that moment forward. And that was like junior year in high school. South influences the world in a lot of different ways. We could go back to the food. We could go back to the party culture that used to be before it became all sections and hookahs. We could go back to twerk music and the freaknik in the party and everything else. We could go to policy and how Atlanta was a refuge for the LGBTQA plus community way before anybody had that as anything in their ballot. We could go back to a whole lot of things of how the South has remained resilient, and the culture of the South is part of the reason why the world is as rich as it is today. Nowadays, you see a lot of the Southern traditions becoming regular namesakes in homes all over the world. And partially is because we're united through this beautiful culture of kind of being forgotten down here in a sense. So we just kind of do our own thing. And it works out for us. I had a lot of dreams as a kid, a whole lot of them. I've always been a dreamer. But as a child, one of the biggest dreams that I had before I moved to the United States was to be here, was to make a life here. When I was a kid, I used to look out. We weren't allowed in the canal zone at the time because, and that's a whole nother discussion with the things going on in this country. But at the time in Panama, we weren't allowed in the canal zone like that. But my stepfather was in the military. So I did get a chance to like go see the canal and stuff. And I remember I would be dreaming of, I wonder where those ships go. I wonder how far they could go. And I never thought that your career or what you do for a living was something that equated passion and what you wanted to do, because all the adults around me were just doing what they needed to do to survive. Everybody that I knew that moved to the United States just had to grind it out, follow the rules, do the thing to get your citizenship, send money back to your family. It was like a loophole, not even a loophole, a winding road of responsibilities that were thrusted upon you from being an immigrant child. And right now I'm living a very free life that's autonomous to me. I get to choose everything about my life. And that is something that I always dreamed of. That was one of my biggest dreams as a kid, because everything was chosen for me. Everything was, are you allowed to do it? Is it okay for you to do it? And it was always this level of like, you have to be grateful that you're here, but I've been here, bruh. At this point, this home, like at this point, you can't tell me that I'm not from the South, because I've been here watching it change this whole time. And my biggest dream that wasn't something that I had as a kid, but developed over time, was to, after dealing with all the issues that I dealt with immigration, with all the issues that I dealt with the government, I want to own my piece of it. And I'm currently in the process of working on my first development. And I think that's like me sticking it to the man. Like, yeah, bro, fuck you. I can do what I want. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the coolest shit ever, dude. We're just out here trying to make our dreams come true. And even though that wasn't the dream I had as a kid, that became, looking back, all I ever wanted was to have the choice to do whatever the fuck I wanted. So I am living my dream right now.